Today, we're going to talk about a man who was a true master of deception, Charles Sobhraj. When he was on the outside, police all over the world were pulling their hair out trying to catch him. And when he was on the inside, well, let's just say he basically ran the show from his prison cell.
You know, it's almost like this famous movie line was written specifically for him. He had this handsome, model-like face, he could talk like a university professor, but underneath it all, he had the mind of a devil, and he knew exactly how to get inside anyone's head.
But this wasn't some character on a screen. This was a real person. So you have to ask, how does that even happen? How does a kid who just wanted to be loved grow up to become one of the most feared and wanted men on the planet? Let's dig in.
To really get who this guy was, we have to go way back. Right back to a childhood that was chaotic, to say the least. Charles Sobhraj was born into this total cultural crossroads. His parents split, he ends up in France, but he never ever felt like he fit in. He was a kid of mixed heritage, in a world that wanted you to pick a side, and he felt like he belonged absolutely nowhere. And that feeling, that emptiness, well, that's where the danger really started to brew. And you can see the exact moment his pain turned into, well, a purpose. This wasn't just some angry kid scribbling in a diary. No, this was a promise. It was a vow he made to himself, channeling all that rejection into a personal war against the world, starting with the father who abandoned him. This became his mission statement.
And here's the crazy part. That feeling of being an outsider, it became his greatest weapon, his superpower. Because he never belonged anywhere, he learned how to belong everywhere. He developed this incredible criminal's toolkit. He could speak multiple languages, he could read a person in seconds, and he could charm just about anyone, which let him glide across countries and identities like a ghost.
So, he's got the skills, he's got the motive, and now he goes pro. He graduates from small-time stuff to becoming this major international criminal, leaving a trail of chaos from Europe all the way to Asia. Okay, so check this out. The Ashoka Hotel heist. This is like something out of a movie. It's so bold. He doesn't just smash a window. He talks his way in, charming a performer to get a room. He pretends to be royalty to get the jeweler to bring a fortune in gems right to him. Then he drugs everyone and just walks away. It's brilliant. But he makes one tiny amateur mistake. He leaves his passport.
And that's exactly how he gets his first big nickname. The press starts calling him the Serpent. Why? Because he was impossible to hold on to. He'd commit a crime, and then poof, he'd vanish, only to pop up in a different country with a new name and a whole new life. He would just shed his old skin and move on.
But this is where the story, it just takes a nosedive into pure evil. His crimes go from being about money and cons to something way, way darker. He wasn't just a thief anymore, he was becoming a predator.
Just think about this number. In only 4 years, from 1972 to 1976, Charles Sobhraj is believed to be responsible for the murders of at least 24 people across multiple countries.
And he had this terrifyingly predictable playbook. He went after young, hopeful tourists traveling along the hippie trail. He'd become their best friend, the person they trusted most in a foreign land. And just when they trusted him completely, that's when he'd strike. He would drug them, take everything they had, and then kill them, making it look like a tragic accident.
It was this one gruesome detail, leaving his female victims dressed only in a bikini, that gave him his second and much more infamous nickname. The Serpent was clever. The Bikini Killer, that was a whole other level of monster.
And who saw this darkness most clearly? Unbelievably, his own mother. Her words just send a shiver down your spine, don't they? She saw the same charming, angelic face everyone else did, but she knew what was really going on inside. Okay, so he's a master manipulator, a serial killer, but that's not all. The legend of Charles Sobhraj is also built on his absolutely insane prison escapes. The man was a real-life Houdini. Now, this next part is going to sound totally backwards, but stick with me. For his most famous escape, his goal was not to escape to freedom. His goal was to get a longer prison sentence in India. Why? Because Thailand wanted to extradite him for murder, which meant a guaranteed death sentence. So to dodge the executioner in Thailand, he had to stay locked up in India until the time limit on the Thai charges ran out. It was a race against time, and for him, winning meant staying in jail. So how does he do it? This is pure Hollywood. He escapes from Tihar, India's most secure prison, by throwing a party. A fake birthday party for everyone. He literally tests a sedative on a stray cat to get the dose just right, laces a bunch of sweets, and knocks out the guards. Then, in the middle of all the chaos, he gets someone to take his picture before just walking out the front gate.
But this is the final touch, the ultimate act of arrogance that tells you everything about him. He left cash in the hands of the sleeping guards. He wasn't just escaping, he was directing his own movie, and he wanted everyone to know who the star was. It was pure contempt.
And believe it or not, his absolutely bonkers plan worked. He got caught, got more time added to his sentence, and ran out the clock on the ties. But as you can probably guess, the story doesn't end there.
After finally getting out of jail in India in '97, he lived like a celebrity in Paris, selling the rights to his life story. But then, in a move that just screams arrogance, he flew back to Nepal in 2003, one of the only countries in the world where he was still a wanted man. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. He was arrested, got a life sentence, but was eventually let go in 2022 because of his age.
And just to prove that age and prison walls meant nothing to him, listen to this. While locked up in Nepal at 64 years old, he charmed and married his lawyer's 20-year-old daughter. It just goes to show his most dangerous weapon, his charisma, never got old.
It really makes you think of that old saying, doesn't it? A snake may get old, but the venom is always there. The intelligence, the charm, the pure evil, it seems like it never really went away.
And that brings us to today, the truly unsettling reality. Charles Sobhraj, the serpent, the Bikini Killer, is a free man, right now walking the streets of Paris. And after a lifetime of leaving chaos and tragedy everywhere he went, you're left with just one haunting question.